The joke had my name on it. It was printed on a white sticker and slapped crooked on my chest by my sister-in-law like a party favor no one wanted. Asterisk, asterisk, RYAN volunteer. Asterisk, asterisk. She pressed it flat with two fingers, smiling wide enough for the neighbors to see. Smile, Tessa said. You look more approachable when you smile. The HOA barbecue filled the cul-de-sac with smoke and fake cheer, red plastic cups, folding tables, string lights someone had borrowed from Christmas. Country music hummed from a Bluetooth speaker balanced on a cooler. This was supposed to feel like community. It felt like a stage. I stood by the ice chest in a faded polo and khakis I had bought on clearance 3 years earlier. The kind of outfit that said I belonged nowhere important. That was the point. There he is, Tessa announced, tapping the microphone. She loved microphones. Ryan, our household helper. Laughter rippled. Not cruel, not kind either. The easy kind. The kind that slid off people who were not the target. I lifted my cup in a small wave. Someone clapped. Someone else asked where the ribs were. The moment passed, but the mark stayed. Across the yard, my mother-in-law, Diane, watched from her throne of a patio chair. Sunglasses, perfect hair. A woman who ran the neighborhood the way some people ran small countries. She smiled when she saw the sticker. My wife, Lauren, brushed past me and squeezed my hand. It was quick, apologetic. Her eyes said, "Please do not make this harder." I nodded. I always nodded. For 3 years, I had been the quiet one. The man who fixed the sprinkler when it broke. The one who read the bylaws when a letter from the HOA arrived. The one who wired money when there was an emergency that somehow ended in a new handbag or a catered brunch. In private, they called me useful. In public, they called me lucky. Tessa moved back to the microphone, her engagement ring flashing in the sun. Before we start the donation challenge, she said, I just want to thank everyone who makes this neighborhood run. Her eyes flicked to me. Some people give money, she continued. Some people give time. More laughter. Someone behind me whispered, must be nice to have help. I thought about the folder on my laptop at home, about the invoices that did not add up, about the landscaping contract that doubled overnight, about the quiet phone call that had hired me as an outside compliance consultant 6 months earlier. No names, no announcements, just work. I did not look at Diane. Lauren stepped closer. Her voice was low. Please, she said, just get through today. I handed a cup of ice to a neighbor I barely knew. He thanked me without looking at my face. I wondered how many rules he had broken without knowing, how many fees he had paid without asking why. Tessa raised her glass. Let us show what kind of community we are. Applause swelled. The donation board lit up with names and numbers. My name was not there. I stood where I had been placed, smiling when required, silent when expected. I had learned their game well, and I knew exactly when to stop playing. Asterisk, if you have ever lived under an HOA, you already know. The rules are never about the rules. Asterisk. They did not want my opinion. They wanted my hands. Tessa steered me toward the long folding table near the donation board and pressed a stack of flyers into my chest. Stand here, she said. Remind people to scan the QR code. Smile. This is important. Important never meant me. I took my place beside the poster board that read, asterisk, asterisk, Neighborhood Pride Fund, asterisk, asterisk in glittering letters. Names appeared on the digital screen as people donated. $50, 100. A few larger numbers drew applause. Tessa watched the board like a stock ticker. Diane drifted over, cup of white wine balanced like an accessory. Ryan, she said softly, for my ears only, we need to talk. I followed her a few steps away from the crowd. She smelled like sunscreen and control. The gate has been acting up, she said. Security is not cheap. The HOA needs a bridge until reimbursements come through. I waited. You understand these things, she continued. Paperwork, transfers, just $3,000 for now. We will credit you later. Later never came. I looked past her at the neighbors laughing near the grill, at Tessa posing with her fiancé, Grant, the badge on his belt catching the light, at my wife standing alone, fingers knotted together. I will think about it, I said. Diane's smile thinned. You always do the right thing. She walked away before I could answer. Grant approached me a few minutes later, beer in hand, confidence worn like a uniform. He had the posture of someone used to being obeyed. So you are the paperwork guy, he said, friendly enough. Lauren says you keep things organized. I try, I said. Nothing wrong with that, he added. Someone has to keep the wheels turning. His eyes flicked to the donation board, to my empty line. The message was clear. Tessa's voice rose again at the microphone. Quick reminder, she said. If your name is not up there yet, now is the time. Let us all do our part. A few people turned toward me. Someone chuckled. Heat crept up my neck. Lauren crossed the yard and leaned close. I am sorry, she whispered. She gets like this. I know, I said. I handed another flyer to a neighbor and nodded when he thanked me. I watched the numbers climb. I watched the pattern I had already memorized play out in real time. The landscaping company Diane loved appeared on the board as a donor, which made no sense. Vendors did not donate. They reimbursed. The event expenses line item would swallow it later. Tessa sauntered over with a fresh drink, her smile sharp. You are doing great, she said loudly. See, Ryan? This is how you contribute. She laughed. A few people joined her. Grant hesitated, then laughed too. That was when I stopped feeling embarrassed. I felt clear. I excused myself and walked to the edge of the cul-de-sac where the noise thinned. I pulled my phone from my pocket and opened my email. One message, drafted weeks ago, waited in my outbox. Neutral subject line, dry language, bylaw citations. I read it once more. No emotion, no names, just procedure. Then I sent it. When I returned, Tessa was mid-story about wedding venues. Diane was nodding, Queen approving her heir. The donation board blinked as another name appeared. Mine did not. Someone bumped into me from behind. A splash of red wine streaked across my sleeve and dripped down my forearm. Oh no, Diane said, not moving to help. So clumsy. Tessa gasped theatrically. Ryan, you are soaked. Laughter again, louder this time. I looked down at my sleeve, at the spreading stain, at the small weight shifting inside my jacket as I reached for a napkin. Something slipped free and hit the pavement with a sharp metallic sound. The conversation faltered. Heads turned. I bent to pick it up. Grant was already staring. That was when I knew the night had reached its edge. Asterisk, if you think this is about money, wait until you see what they really collect. Asterisk, the object lay on the pavement between my shoes and Grant's boots. It was small, heavy, unremarkable to anyone who did not know what it meant. Grant knew. His laughter died, mid-breath. His posture changed first, shoulders squaring as if a switch had flipped somewhere deep and automatic. He did not bend to pick it up. He did not ask a question out loud. He stared. I crouched and retrieved it before anyone else could. The metal was cool against my palm. I slipped it back into my jacket without ceremony, but the moment had already passed its point of return. Grant followed me 3 steps away from the crowd. His voice was low, tight. Where did you get that? I cannot discuss my client, I said. His jaw worked. How long? I met his eyes. Long enough. Behind us, the music resumed. Nervous laughter filled the gap. Tessa was already spinning the moment into something harmless. Just a coin, she said loudly. Ryan collects weird things. Grant did not turn around. You are counsel, he said. It was not a question. For this neighborhood, I said nothing. Diane approached, wine glass refilled, smile fixed. Is there a problem? Grant straightened. Yes. Her smile flickered. I do not understand. He looked at her the way officers look at suspects when a story stops adding up. Then you should. Tessa laughed too loudly. Babe, you are being dramatic. Grant finally faced her. You are humiliating him. It is a joke, she said. Everyone is laughing. Everyone is watching, he replied. There is a difference. Lauren stood frozen near the donation board. I caught her eye and gave a small nod. Not yet? Grant stepped back, scanning the crowd. Board members, the community manager, the landscaping vendor hovering near the grill like he belonged. You need to stop, Grant said to Tessa. Right now, she scoffed. You are choosing him over me? I am choosing reality, he said, and I am choosing it loudly. He turned to the crowd. His voice carried without shouting. This man is not a volunteer. He is counsel. Silence fell hard. Faces shifted. Calculations began. The community manager went pale. One of the board members set her cup down carefully, as if noise might make things worse. Diane opened her mouth, closed it, opened it again. This is absurd. My phone vibrated in my pocket. I glanced down. Asterisk, asterisk, emergency board meeting scheduled 30 minutes. Discretionary spending frozen. Independent audit initiated. Asterisk, asterisk. I slipped the phone away. Grant looked back at Tessa. We are done. Her smile cracked. You cannot be serious. I am, he said. I will not marry someone who uses people as props. Diane stepped forward, voice sharp. You are embarrassing us. I finally spoke. I am leaving. Lauren moved to my side. Her hand slid into mine. It was steady. Diane reached for her. Lauren, do not let him do this. Lauren did not pull away from me. For the first time, she pulled away from her mother. Grant nodded once at me. I am sorry I laughed earlier. I inclined my head. That was enough. As we walked away, the donation board flickered and went dark. The music cut out. Conversations erupted in whispers. Behind us, power shifted, not with shouting, not with threats, with procedure, with paper, with the rules they thought only applied to others. I did not look back. Asterisk, humiliation is a weapon. I had finally learned how to disarm it. Asterisk. The street looked different once we stepped away from the lights. The cul-de-sac noise dissolved behind us, replaced by the quiet hum of summer insects and the soft click of my shoes on asphalt. Lauren did not let go of my hand. Her grip tightened as if she had just realized she could. We reached the sidewalk when Diane's voice cut through the night. Ryan, I stopped. Not because I owed her anything, but because I wanted the end to be clean. She marched toward us, heels sinking slightly into the grass, wineglass abandoned somewhere behind her. Up close, she looked smaller, older. The certainty that had carried her for years had a hairline fracture running through it. You cannot do this, she said. You have no right to destroy a family event. I met her eyes. I did not destroy anything. I stopped participating. Tessa appeared beside her, face flushed, mascara already starting to smear. Grant stood several steps back, arms crossed, watching without intervening. This is your fault, Tessa snapped. Everything was fine until you decided to make a scene. I almost laughed. Almost. You poured wine on me, I said. In front of the neighborhood. She waved a hand. It was an accident. It was a choice, I replied. Diane turned to Lauren. Are you really going to let him talk to us like this? Lauren inhaled, then exhaled slowly. Yes. The word landed harder than any shout. Diane stared at her daughter as if she had spoken a foreign language. Excuse me? I am done pretending this is normal, Lauren said. Her voice shook, but she did not back down. You humiliate him. You use him, and when he stays quiet, you call him weak. That is not true, Diane said, too fast. Grant stepped forward. It is. And both women turned to him. You laughed, Tessa said, disbelief giving way to anger. You laughed with them. I did, Grant said. And I was wrong. He faced me. I should have shut it down the first time. I did not. That is on me. I nodded once. No more. No less. Tessa looked between us, panic rising. So that is it? You are just leaving? Yes, Grant said. We are done. Diane's composure snapped. You think you can just walk away and leave us to clean this up? I answered before Grant could. Yes. She pointed a finger at my chest. You think you are better than us now. I think I am finished being smaller for you, I said. Behind her, the community manager hurried across the grass, phone pressed to her ear, voice hushed and urgent. One of the board members followed, pale and tight-lipped. The audit had already begun to ripple outward. Diane noticed. Her eyes darted. Calculation replaced outrage. This does not have to get ugly, she said, lowering her voice. We can talk privately. No, I said. We are done talking. Lauren squeezed my hand. I felt the decision settle into place, solid and final. Grant extended a hand toward me. I am sorry, he said again. For tonight, for before. I shook it. Take care. He turned and walked away without another glance at Tessa. She stood frozen, as if movement might shatter her. Diane called after us one last time. Family does not do this. I looked back. Family does not need permission to be decent. We walked away as voices rose behind us, arguments breaking out in sharp fragments. I did not listen. For the first time, the neighborhood felt quiet, not empty. Quiet, asterisk, some endings are loud. The real ones happen when you stop explaining and start leaving. Asterisk, the next morning, the neighborhood woke up quieter. No music. No group texts about brunch plans. No cheerful reminders from the HOA about trash cans and mailbox paint. The silence was not peace. It was shock. By noon, the messages started. Diane sent the first one. Long, emotional, carefully written to sound wounded without admitting anything. Asterisk, we were blindsided. You embarrassed us. Families do not air disagreements in public. Asterisk, I did not respond. Tessa followed with 6 texts in a row, each more frantic than the last. Asterisk, you ruined my life. Asterisk, asterisk, Grant will not answer my calls. Asterisk, asterisk, people are saying things. Asterisk, asterisk, you need to fix this. Asterisk, asterisk, mom is devastated. Asterisk, asterisk, how could you do this to your own family? Asterisk, I turned my phone face down on the table. Lauren sat across from me in the kitchen, staring into a mug she had forgotten to drink from. The house felt different, lighter, like a door had finally been opened somewhere and fresh air had found its way in. They are going to keep trying, she said quietly. I know, I replied. That afternoon, I sent one email. It was not long. It did not explain. It did not justify. I stated boundaries. No financial assistance. No attendance at events. No private meetings. All communication through counsel if harassment continued. I read it twice. Lauren read it once. Send it, she said. I did. The response was immediate. Diane accused me of cruelty. Tessa accused me of betrayal. Neither mentioned the wine. Neither mentioned the audit. Neither mentioned the years of quiet compliance they had mistaken for permission. That night, Lauren packed a bag. Not to leave me, to leave them. We moved into a small apartment on the other side of town the following week. Nothing fancy. Clean. Quiet. No committee approvals required. The first night there, we ate takeout on the floor and laughed at nothing in particular. The audit finished 2 months later. Diane was removed from the board. Funds were clawed back. Vendors were replaced. The neighborhood sent out a bland email about administrative restructuring. No names. No apologies. Grant never contacted me again. I heard through a neighbor that he had transferred precincts. I hoped he found peace. I hoped he learned. Tessa blocked me on everything. Lauren's phone stayed silent. On a Saturday morning in early fall, I stood on our small balcony with a cup of coffee and watched the sun rise over a street that did not know my name. Lauren came up behind me and rested her head against my shoulder. I did not know it could be this quiet, she said. Neither did I. We started over slowly. New routines, new friends, a life built without permission, slips or guilt payments. Sometimes I thought about the barbecue, about the sticker on my chest, about how small I had made myself to survive. They said family never forgets. They were wrong. They did not miss me. They missed access. And once I understood that, I stopped waiting to be seen. I saw myself, and that was enough.